How do you add a handgun to your existing permit to carry in New Jersey? Hi folks, Steve from Martell Training Group, and today we're going to talk about if you have an existing permit to carry issued by the state of New Jersey and you acquire a new handgun, how do you add that to your existing permit to carry? Since the NYSRPA versus Bruen decision, which was a U.S. Supreme Court case out of New York, that changed the permitting process in New York and also in New Jersey. So that justifiable need, which kept most people, most citizens from getting a permit to carry in New Jersey, has since been removed due to NYSRPA versus Bruen. That means that if you qualify to possess or own a handgun in New Jersey, and a lot of people do, then you should qualify for a permit to carry in the state of New Jersey. Since this U.S. Supreme Court decision, which changed the permitting process, New Jersey has seen a surge in permit to carry applications and also the issuing of permits to carry. Many have been issued already and many are pending. So because of this, I've been asked recently, how do you add a handgun to a permit to carry? So for example, you've been issued the permit to carry, and when you apply, you need to put down the handguns you wish to or intend to carry. So say 2 months later, you decide to buy or you acquire another handgun and you want to be able to carry that under the provisions of your permit to carry. So I've been asked, how do you do that? And some people have said, I've heard some people say, oh, if you qualify with one handgun, you can that means you can carry any of your handguns that you own. And I've also heard the extreme that, oh, you need to reapply and do the whole process over again. So I don't believe either of these two are correct, and I'm going to tell you why. According to N.J.A.C 2C 58-4, which has to do with permits to carry, and also New Jersey Administrative Code 1354 2.4, which details the process for applying for a permit to carry, when you submit that initial application, or if it's a renewal after 2 years, because they're good for 2 years, you have to submit proof of safe handling and use, and also qualification from a certified firearms instructor. Each handgun you intend to carry, for each handgun that you intend to carry. So if you have 5 handguns and you want to be able to carry any one of those 5 handguns, you need to submit qualification from an instructor or documentation from an instructor that says, yes, you qualify with all 5 handguns. So what happens after you already receive your permit to carry, you've already submitted your application, and now you've purchased a new handgun and you want to be able to carry that? The bottom line is there's no definitive answer in either 2C or the administrative code on what to do or how to add when your permit to carry is current and you're not at that 2-year mark where you're going to submit to renewal. Since it's not spelled out in the 2C criminal code or the administrative code, I would say you have 2 options. One is to reach out to the court that issued your permit to carry and ask them to amend the order, because it's a court order. Unless you're a retired police officer, the permits to carry in New Jersey are issued by superior court judges. It's a court order. So the first option is to reach out to that court clerk, and ask for an amendment to the order to add an additional handgun or more if you have 2 or 3 or whatever. The other option is to wait until you are renewing, which is 2 years. So if you're close to renewing, then that's not an issue. You just do what you need to do, qualify with the handgun, and then you submit it with your renewal application. Regarding the concept or idea of being able to carry any handgun that you own after only qualifying with one particular handgun, I would be very careful doing this, and I'll tell you why. The permits to carry that are issued for retired police officers in the state of New Jersey require that they qualify with each and every handgun that they intend to carry. Now, do I think it should be that way? No, but that's the way it is for the police officers that retired and want to get permits to carry issued by the state police in New Jersey. In addition to the fact that 2C and Title 13 of the Administrative Code detail the fact that when you submit an application, either initial or renewal, you have to submit qualification, proof of qualification for every handgun that you own. So I don't know why the state of New Jersey would say, well, when you apply initially or when you renew, we want to see proof of qualification for every handgun you intend to carry. I don't know why that's there for the application, but then some people, I don't know why they think, well, that doesn't really apply to if you just decide halfway through your permit, duration that you want to add a handgun. You can just add it on your own without any qualification. So I'd be very careful about that. So the issue isn't, to me, the issue isn't whether or not you need to qualify with each handgun that you want to carry. The issue is, how do we add it to our existing permit to carry or court order? The way I think it should work is the way it works for active and retired police officers who carry under LEOSA, which is an acronym for Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act. This is an act that was passed by Congress in 2004, I believe. It's been amended a couple times. It allows police officers, active and retired, to carry in all 50 states. The reason I bring that up is that LEOSA specifies that you have to have proof of qualification within that preceding year of qualifying with a handgun of the same type of firearm that you're carrying. LEOSA doesn't require that you qualify with every firearm that you intend to carry or every firearm that you own and you might carry. LEOSA requires that you carry the same type of handgun that you've qualified with. So for example, I have a Glock 19 Generation 5, and I also have a Glock 43. They're both Glocks, they're both handguns. One's a compact, one's a subcompact. One has 15 rounds in the magazine, one has 6. If you've ever fired a Glock before, you know what I'm talking about. They fire the same way. One's a little bigger, one's a little smaller. If I qualify with my Glock 19, to me, I shouldn't have to qualify with my Glock 43. It's really the same gun, it's just smaller. It's just they make it smaller so you can carry concealed. It's easier to carry concealed. That's how I think it should be, and that's how it is for police officers, retired and active, carrying under LEOSA. But New Jersey doesn't recognize LEOSA, and up until recently, they lost a lawsuit regarding LEOSA, and it's currently on appeal. But I've posted videos on LEOSA if you'd like more information on that topic, also on permits to carry in general, and I'll put a link in the description that you can check out those videos if you'd like. Basically, New Jersey only recognized LEOSA for out-of-state police officers traveling into New Jersey, not for the police officers that reside in New Jersey. New Jersey lost the lawsuit, and it's currently under appeal. The reason I bring up LEOSA is I think that's how it should be for permits to carry that are issued by the state in New Jersey. But currently, according to the 2C statute and the administrative code, that's not how it is. And until they change that, and New Jersey is slow to change everything, and especially firearms laws, except for the laws that are passed by the anti-gun politicians. They're very quick to pass those, even when they don't make sense. Until that changes, I would say you need to contact the court. In conclusion, I'd say you have 2 options if you want to add a handgun to your existing permit to carry in New Jersey. Contact the court that issued your permit to carry. I think that's your best option. A lot of the directories for the courts are online. You can Google it, and you can find out. If you know the judge, you should see the judge's name on your court order for your permit to carry, and look up that judge's chambers. Usually there's contact numbers. If there isn't an email, if there's an email address, then you can you have your document of your proof of ownership. So if you purchased a handgun, you have that. Get qualified with that firearm. Once you have the email address of that court clerk, then I would email them the documentation that you own the firearm and the documentation that you've qualified, and just say, hey, I'm requesting that my court order be amended to add this firearm or these firearms to my existing permit to carry under the provisions of that. I want to carry these new handguns under the provision of my current permit to carry. I would email the court clerk. The court clerk's going to be the one who's filling out the court order or the amendment to the court order. The judge is just going to sign it. So if you have the judge's email address, you can CC the judge, but I would email the court clerk and request that it's changed. Now, this is all new with the civilians getting the permits to carry, other than for work purposes or other than for unique situations. So some courts might be different than other courts. It should be a uniform process, in my opinion, and hopefully we'll get there someday. But the reason I bring this up is your court may say, you know, we won't accept the email. We want you to mail the documents. One court may say contact your police department because they want it to go through the police department. The police department may say, hey, we want you to submit a new 642, which is that SP form for the permit to carry application. Now, they should not require you to complete a whole new application, go through the whole process with the references and fingerprints. They shouldn't require you to do that, but I'm saying for their records, they might want you to do the SP 642 again. So hopefully, eventually down the road, this will be a streamlined process. It won't be different in each court, but that's what you might have to do. But I would recommend starting with the court that issued your permit to carry, or you can contact your police department and say, hey, I just acquired this new handgun. My permit to carry is only 3 months old. How do I add this? The other option, again, is to wait till you renew. And if you're close to renewing, then that's a no-brainer. You just submit it with your new application. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it. Also, consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already for more videos like this and updates on the permit to carry process in New Jersey. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe.